All right, well, thank you so much for joining me on today's session. We're going to be talking all about how to take control of your online reputation so that you can drive more sales and revenue in your plumbing or HVAC business. And we all know that reviews is where it's at, right? Our online reputation can make or break our business. Ideally, what I'm going to share is some cool insights on how you can go beyond the tools that you already have. You can think more creatively about how to really take control of your online reputation and kind of spread the good word and make sure that you're the plumbing or HVAC company of choice in your service area. Now, this is part of our overall digital dominance method. Throughout the year, we kind of carve out one module at a time on this topic, from getting your website set up, to making sure you're ranking well organically, to making sure that you're tapping into paid search and the various online lead generation opportunities that are available to you. And really, this digital dominance method is what we've coined as what you can do to maximize your lead flow and profitability across the internet. And today's session is on a micro topic, which is mission critical, which is online reviews. And it fits nicely in this digital dominance method in a couple places. It fits in from an SEO perspective because our reviews heavily impact our rankings, especially on Google Maps. And it also fits in from a conversion perspective. When somebody gets to your website, why should they choose you versus the competition? And it also fits in your overall marketing plan, because at the end of the day, whether you're advertising via internet marketing, direct mail, billboards, brand advertising, your customer is going to look you up. They're going to look at your online reviews before making the call in a lot of cases. So this is where kind of this fits into the big picture of your overall internet marketing strategy. So just some house rules, if you don't mind. Let's turn off our cell phones. Let's shut Facebook if it's running in the background, unless you're watching this on Facebook somehow. And if you're really serious about getting better results in your plumbing or HVAC business, getting more reviews, getting more high quality reviews, this next 60 to 90 minutes could be a real game changer for you. So here's what we're going to cover. We're going to talk a little bit about why you can have the best review tools in the world. At the beginning of the session, people were talking about the review tools they use, Podium and ReviewBuzz and NearbyNow. But sometimes you can still fail to consistently generate online reviews. We're going to talk a little bit about why that is and how to solve for it. We're going to talk about how to tap into the power of multi-channel communication, right? All of us think in terms of email. The fact is your customers are getting a lot of emails that could care less about email. Really, we want to touch them via SMS. We want to hard log them into the platforms that they already use and make sure that the tool you're using has that and that you're using it. Because what I find is a lot of these platforms have done this. They've implemented these elements where you can communicate via SMS. You can communicate directly via apps. And we just don't have them activated in our platforms that we use. I'm going to talk about how online reviews, more than anything else, is a team sport, right? And to succeed, how you have to have your entire team on board, and how you can bake online reviews and reputation management into the culture of your team. And really why you have to acknowledge and respond to all your reviews, good, bad, and indifferent, right? Because a lot of us have kind of latched onto this idea. We need reviews because they make us look good. We need reviews because they help with our rankings. But we're not really paying attention to the reviews when they come in. We're not acknowledging them in a public space. If we do with any of them, a lot of times we only deal with the negatives. So making sure that we've got a strategy in place where we're proactively addressing all of the reviews, good, bad, and indifferent. I think I hit the back button. And at the end, I'm going to talk a little bit about how you can have this taken care of for you completely turnkey so that you can focus on providing great service, focus on doing what you do, and let your reputation speak for itself. So just real quick, who I am and why you should listen. Our company's a Google certified partner. I'm an author of the Complete Guide to Internet Marketing for plumbing contractors, how to triple your sales by getting your internet marketing right. We're active in PACC, QSC, Nexstar, Service Roundtable. But I'd say more than any of that stuff is that at this point I've had the opportunity to work with several hundred plumbing and HVAC contractors from across the country. Have seen many of them go from virtual obscurity online to the point where they now dominate their local market. A lot of them getting hundreds of calls every single month, and a couple of them even seeing over $1 million in growth in their top line. So I'd say more important than the other stuff is that I have real world experience working with plumbing and HVAC companies just like you, and what I share is based on real world in the trenches experience. Now working with hundreds of companies and seeing what works and what doesn't, what's happening with their websites, what's happening with their online reviews, why one plumbing company will provide hundreds of service calls every single month and only get a handful of reviews, and another will do less service calls and get 5 and 10 times more online reviews. So I have some context and some really interesting things I can share out of experience. And this is what we do. We've got an office here in Miami that I'm sitting in. We've got 30 full-time employees, and we're completely passionate. We do this day in, day out, helping plumbing and HVAC companies increase their sales, grow their revenues, and really dominate their online market so that they can grow and they can achieve their goals. And so our team, it's not just me, our whole team is passionate about doing this, and we're on a mission to triple the sales of 1,000 plumbing and HVAC companies over the next 5 years. So let's talk a little bit about why, right? When I do these sessions, I always want to think like, why is this mission critical? Why is this important? Why is it worth you taking 45 minutes to an hour out of your day to hear a session about reviews? And really, to me, it's important because the opportunity or the issue is our online reviews and reputation can make or break our company, right? If we've got lots of good positive reviews, it will make us more profitable. It will make all of our marketing more effective. It will make closing deals and closing jobs out in the field easier. Now the contrast to that is it can also break us. Like if we've got a high percentage of negative reviews, and they're saying now like a 3-star review count average or less on any of the platforms, whether it's Google, Angie's List, Yelp, can have a massively negative impact in your conversion rate from your leads. So this is really that important. It can truly make or break your plumbing or HVAC company. The other reason is a lot of times our online reputation doesn't reflect the quality of services that you provide. I know you guys on this webinar, you take this very seriously. You're passionate about your company. You're passionate about providing great services. You're passionate about growing your business and expanding. And in a lot of cases, despite the great work that you do, the training that you do with your techs, the things you do to try and go above and beyond, sometimes that doesn't get reflected accurately in the online review profiles. And sometimes we're doing good on one and not the other. We might be doing really good on Google in terms of our average star rating, but then when we look at Yelp, it looks bad. It's just not representative of the kind of company that we run. Or if we look on Angie's List for some reason, there's a couple of scars against us. And so we really want to solve for how do we make sure that we've got all the right pieces in place to reflect the amazing company that we are on the online profiles and on the online review sites. And the other big reason that this is a challenge is that a lot of us have invested in the best tools, but we're still not driving enough reviews. So we've invested in NearbyNow and ReviewBuzz and Podium and Broadly and Pulse M, right? There's lots of review tools out there, and we always think it's about the tool, right? If we get this cool, fancy tool that's going to put out the reviews for us or put out the review requests, that will solve all our problems. But in reality, it's much more than just about the tools. Yes, it helps if we've got the tools. Yes, it helps if we leverage those tools correctly and to their fullest, but it goes further than that. And so really, if we can't solve for this, what's going to happen is our online reputation can drag down all of our other marketing. Like the fact is you can have an amazing marketing strategy where you're multi-channel, your branding looks great, your rankings and SEO look great, but if you've got a negative reputation on any of the major sites, that can drag everything down. And really what's more frustrating is we can watch your competitors go to the competition just because they're not feeling like you're the quality operation that they want to do business with. And so that makes a pretty cool opportunity, because if we can solve for that, right, we can separate ourselves from the competition, and we can really stand out by doing a couple things better in terms of focused on our reputation than our competitors. We can be the provider of choice and stand out in our service area and really stand out from the competition. Right? And that's what we want. We want when somebody's looking for our services in our service area to be the obvious choice with more reviews, more 5-star reviews, and more authenticity. Like the fact is, they don't just look at star rating and count. They start to read the most recent reviews, and they want to see like what's the authenticity of this. Was a real person, was a real experience, and did the people at the other side of the business even notice? Did they care? Did they interact after that review was posted? And I think when you do that, you can really stand out from the competition. We can make sure that we leverage the tools we have to the fullest, right? And I think most of these tools are more than adequate if we use them consistently, if we use them well, if we go cross-channel, and if we leverage automation. I'm going to show you some amazing case studies on what can happen when you start to automate the review request process at the time the job is booked. Really cool stuff. And really, ultimately, what we want is for our reputation to speak for itself, right? For it to be clear that we do great work, we take care of our customers, and that we care about the experience that they have, and we care about the fact that they took the time to post a review in the first place. And really, again, if we can solve for this stuff, we can use our tools correctly, we can stand out online, we can become the go-to plumbing or HVAC company in our area, really rank better because we have that, and maximize our conversion rates. Make it so that every dollar we spend in marketing across the entire spectrum of our marketing strategy goes that much further, and it generates that many more leads, and it generates that many more sales on our behalf. So I'd love to hear from you guys. How many of you can feel like, yes, if we get this dialed in, it can have a pretty massive impact on our results? Somebody give me a thumbs up in the chat, or a yes, I'm with you, or this sounds great. Give me some interaction here in the chat box. Dominic says yes. Carolyn says for sure. Laura says absolutely, or she says yes. Excellent. Thank you, guys. So again, do online reviews matter? I don't even think I need to harp on this point. You wouldn't be on this webinar if you didn't think they did. But here's what the stats tell us. The stats tell us that 84% of people trust online reviews as much as they do personal recommendations, right? So I mean, that's staggering. Years ago, it was all about the personal recommendation. People believe what they're reading on Google, on Angie's List, on Yelp, on these other review sites as much as they do a personal recommendation. And most of us have heard that stat, but the stat that most of us haven't heard is that 77% of consumers think that the reviews more than 3 months old aren't relevant. So you can have 550 reviews, but if the most recent one was 6 months ago, that's going to count against you in terms of your conversion rates. So it's not just about having 5 stars. It's not just about having lots of reviews. It's about having recency of your reviews and having new reviews being posted on a consistent basis. I think the rationale behind this is people start to think, well, maybe things have changed in their company. Maybe one of the technicians left, or maybe something changed, and that's why they don't have any recent reviews. So yeah, online reviews are absolutely mission critical. And really, if you look at this, I'm going to pull up a Google browser. I'm going to kind of walk you through this. When somebody wants to find a plumber, right? What they're doing, and since Jeff is on the call here, I'm taking Mason plumber. I should probably put in Ohio because of my geo proximity. So I'm looking for a plumber in Mason, Ohio, and I run this search, and I see kind of my options, right? I've got the local service ads up here. I've got the paid listings. I've got the organic listings. And naturally, I'm going to kind of gravitate to the people that rank best. So, Jeff, congratulations. We got the #1 map listing, the top organic listing. That's great. But the other thing we're going to do before we decide is we're going to want to look at the reputation. Like, how is this company good, right? And I dictate, and the way your customer dictates whether they're good is the number of reviews they have and what those reviews look like. So naturally, they're going to kind of dial in here, and they're going to say, okay, what do the reviews say? And here he's got 4.5 stars. It looks like he's doing pretty good. He's got one very recent here with 5 stars, another with 5 stars. Always Nixco saves the day for me, etc. Right? And the other thing you'll notice that's pretty cool here is that not only does Jeff have these reviews, he's got responses where somebody in his company is taking the time to acknowledge that review and thank them, and that has an impact on the conversion rates. So it's just important to realize sometimes they search for you, other times they saw your ad and they're going and they're searching you by name and they're looking up, okay, what are your reviews saying about you before making that call? So just as an example, we type in Woodlands, Texas plumber, up comes JD Precision, one of our top review clients of last year. So congratulations, JD. They also made the Inc. 5000 list for the second year in a row. I just want you to see, as a function of that Google map listing alone in that one area in Woodlands, and they've got a couple different locations, they had 153 phone calls tracked from Google Maps. So, if you look at their overall marketing strategy, and in this case, this is a tracking board we use where we can see we spent $10,000 overall in SEO, pay-per-click, marketing managed services. They generated 466 leads at an average cost of $21.67. So pretty solid. And then, those leads broke down from organic and pay-per-click and Google Maps and web forms. The fact is, because they have 323 reviews for their listing, and because those reviews are for the most part solid, they rank well. They've got the number one ranking on Maps, and they've got the reviews. They were able to generate 153 leads directly from the Google Map listing. And so this is just to kind of illustrate that point that when you rank on Maps and when you've got a great online reputation, that can generate a lot of leads, a lot of calls, and a lot of volume for your business. So I'll just share one more example, and this is Lanny's. They're a plumbing HVAC electrical company based in Fargo, North Dakota. And we run the search. Let's just say Fargo, North Dakota plumber. You can see here they've got the number 2 spot on Maps, 657 reviews. And you wonder to yourself, like, how much do the reviews impact their call volume? How much does it impact their conversion rates? Does it really matter all of that much? So if we pull up their board here, is 2,500 invested in online marketing. So that's predominantly focused on SEO. They've also got a big brand in their market. So they're one of the heavy advertisers. So they get obviously some direct traffic as well. But you can see that map listing generated over 835 phone calls for their business. And so not trying to beat something over over your head, but the fact is, more reviews, higher star rating will impact your rankings. It will also impact the number of calls that you get within your business. So it's absolutely a major factor. So as we continue here, I want to hear, why is getting control and managing your online reputation critical for you? I just want to hear from a couple of you guys in the comments, so we can keep this interactive, we can keep this flowing. So why is this important for you? Scott's asking what we use for those stats. So that's the platform we use for our clients. So we're tracking phone calls, we're tracking web submissions, and then we bring it in through data analytics so we can break it down and figure out, how much did you spend, how many leads did you get, where did those leads come from, and so that's where it came from. But it's pulling from our call tracking system, and then it's pulling from the analytics, it's pulling from the Google AdWords, and it kind of divides across multiple platforms. Okay, thank you, Sarah. Sarah says, because reviews is money. I've heard a lot of buzz around the board, how much they say they hate Yelp. Yelp is like a cult. They make you pay for reviews. Is it really true? I'll talk a little bit about Yelp and kind of the cult of the cult of reviews on Yelp. Laura, thanks for your comment. She says, to manage our reputation equals money. And yes, Yelp sucks. Yelp sucks, she says. Awesome. Well, thanks for interacting with me, guys. I do that because it helps you kind of think and prioritize, but it also kind of helps me get some feedback from you guys and keep things pulsing. So let's dive into 5 key principles to help you really control, manage, and maximize your online reputation. So the first is to make sure you provide a world-class experience. And so I lead with this at the beginning because, it's not about the tools necessarily. It's not about the fancy technology, it all starts with a world-class experience. It starts with training your techs, with having them professionally dressed, with showing up on time, with providing a great service, right? With planting the expectation of, that a follow-up is going to come into play. So that's the first thing, and this is what you guys do, right? You guys are all focused on creating world-class experience. So I'm not going to do a long dissertation on this, but I just want you to realize it's not just about the tools, it's about the experience. And my business partner, Dean Iadisi, recently published this cool book called Amazing Service, the Plumbing and HVAC Guide to Amazing Service, so you can slaughter your competitors. Really cool book, a short story about a plumbing technician and kind of what he was able to do to go into the home and create an experience that was outside the world of what a normal expectation is for a plumbing and HVAC company, right? You think of the guy with the butt crack showing, and I know nobody likes those stereotypes, but really just how you can reverse that. And this is a cool book you should read, and you should probably share with your techs because it can kind of change the way they think about how that world-class experience can be created on a per-service call basis. Number 2 is that you want to build reviews and reputation management into your company culture, right? I find, and I've looked at a lot of our clients that we work with, the ones that have the most reviews, the ones that have the most momentum, yes, they provide great service. Yes, they use the tools, and we're going to talk more about tools and how to leverage them, but they've baked it into their culture. What I know to be true, and there's 2 things. First of all, is what you measure always improves. What you track and what you measure always improves. I would like to hear from you guys if you've experienced this in your life, whatever it is. If you track your finances, you get better control of your budget and you make more, you're able to save more. If you start to track your calorie intake, or you start to track your macros and you start to track your weight, you start to get the weight under control. You start to weigh, where do you want to be? It's a 100% proven axiom. What you track and measure always improves. The other thing is, what you celebrate, you get more of. And I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but if you take the time to celebrate things, celebrate successes, celebrate wins, you attract more of that into your life. And the other thing, I guess I said 2, but there's really 3. The third is people want to be recognized in front of their peers. Your technicians love competition. They absolutely thrive on it. Lots of quotes out there will tell you people are more motivated by being recognized in front of their peers than they are by money. How many of you guys have heard that? Like, post in comments like a 1 if you've heard these 3 things, right? What you measure improves, what you celebrate you get more of, and people would prefer to be, they're more motivated by being acknowledged in front of their peers than they are by money. All right, Albert, thanks for joining us. Thank you for giving me a thumbs up. Like, these are 3 things, if you read business books, if you study philosophy, that are just proven axioms in the world. And so our clients that get the best results, they tap into those 3 powerful things. They track their online reviews, and they have a mechanism to say, okay, here's how many reviews we got. Here's where they came from. Here's which tech generated it. And they build it in to their meeting rituals. Now, I know some of you guys do daily huddles. Some of you do weekly huddles. Others of you do like a monthly team gathering of some sort. What I've found to work best is that you bring the team together, you acknowledge the positive reviews that came in the company, and you celebrate. You celebrate the positive feedback because you bring more of that into your life. You gamify the process a little bit, like you start to recognize, hey, Billy received 17 5-star reviews this month. He's done amazing, and we want to celebrate that and acknowledge him in some way in front of his peers. I promise you start to do this. You start to track it, you start to acknowledge it, and you start to celebrate it in your company. They're going to go out of their way to provide world-class experience. They're going to go out of their way to make sure those customers are well taken care of, and that they go the next step, and that they post that positive 5-star review. And when that starts to happen, and it's built into your culture, the number of reviews is going to increase significantly. the average rating is going to improve significantly. That's going to drive your company. That's going to drive more revenue. That's going to drive more sales. That's going to drive better return on investment from all of the advertising that you do. And your company will make more money. You personally will make more money. So really build this into your company's culture. Again, what you measure and inspect and celebrate, you're going to create more of. I guess I kind of like harped on that during my last bullet. The fourth is to leverage best-in-class tools after every service call. Ensure that they communicate using all channels, right? And so on this one, there's been a shift over the last 5 years. And it really kind of goes back over the last 20 years. It used to be, how did we communicate? The only way we could communicate was phone and direct mail. You send a thank you card after the service call, send a survey request after the service call. Then it shifted to email. And it was like, okay, cool, we can communicate with people via email. And people checked emails, they responded to emails, they did surveys via emails. But I don't know about you, if I look at my email right now, I've got 731,000 emails in my inbox. No joke. 731,000 emails. I'm sure you guys are all inundated with emails as well. And so deliverability on emails is way down. People actually seeing and acknowledging emails is way down. But what's up is text messaging, right? Everyone's got their cell phone. Everybody gets text messages. Right now, I've only got 17 unread text messages. That's actually a lot for me right now. I would love to. Andrew says he's zero inbox on everything. Good for you. How many of you guys have less than 5 unread text messages right now? Sarah says 85% of their bookings are going through text messaging. Yeah, there's this massive shift to text messaging. And so you want to make sure that you're leveraging these tools that will send the request after every service call, and that you're communicating via email. Sure, I mean, it's built into it. Use the email. But you're absolutely leveraging SMS text messaging, and that you're using physical, right? And so a lot of times I think, okay, we've got this review thing that's going to go out. We don't need to send a thank you card. We don't need to have the technician hand something to their customer after service. But you don't want to fall asleep on the old school tactics that have always worked. So we talk about baking this into your culture. What we found to work well is to have a little review card printed up that your technician is trained to, after the service call, say, hey, you know what, thank you so much for your business. It was an honor to serve you today. If you'd be willing, we'd love it if you'd take a couple minutes to write us a review. You're going to get an email and a text message. Here's just a place, if you wanted to, you could go and write a quick review online. And it really would help me out if you'd reference me by name. That way, my company knows that I did a good job and I provided a good experience here today. Use physical, and then make sure that you're tapping in to the apps that your customers use. So believe it or not, people have the Google app installed on their phone. People have, in some cases, the Angie's List app installed on it. Sometimes they have the Thumbtack app on their phone. And so you want to make sure that the reputation management system you use sends out the request, but then if they're already logged in, that it pushes them straight to the app that they already have installed. So if they're already logged in on Google, we want them to be taken straight to Google where they can write the review, and not through some archaic process where they click a button and then it tells them to click over here and then they've got to log in to post a review. What we have to make sure we're doing is reducing friction. Right? They're already going out of their way to post a review. It needs to be, they got a text message, they clicked the button, and now they're just typing. Right? So you just want to make sure you kind of run your tools through the paces. Right? Make sure you kind of test this. Eat some of your own dog food. What's the experience after your customer does business with you? What do the emails look like? What do the text messages look like? If you click it, where does it take you? And make sure that you're kind of hitting on all of these points. And the fifth, and often overlooked, is to make sure that you acknowledge and respond to every review, right? A lot of us are so hyped up on this concept of, yes, we need reviews. Yes, we know those reviews are going to help us generate more leads. They're going to help us convert our opportunities better. But when we get the reviews, sometimes we don't even see them, right? Good, bad, and indifferent. We don't have a mechanism to really track and know that a review happened. But a lot of times, we'll see that negative review and we'll deal with it. And we've kind of fleshed out, like, okay, let's call the customer. Let's try and work it all out offline. If not, let's post a professional response. We kind of dealt with that. But a lot of times what I'm seeing getting missed is responding to the reviews that are good and thanking them. And like a personal comment can go such a long ways in deepening the relationship with that customer. If they took the time to write a review on Yelp, let's thank them on Yelp. If they took the time to write us a review on Angie's List, let's acknowledge them there. That deepens the relationship. They get an alert that somebody responded. And believe it or not, it has a massive psychological impact when I'm reading the reviews or your customer's reading your reviews and they see 5-star, 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 and now you took the classy next step and you acknowledge the review and you thank them. And it just shows that you're a diligent company, that you care about the customer experience, and that you appreciate your customers. So let's make sure that we're acknowledging and responding to every review that we get. So I'm just going to check in. We got a lot more to cover, but out of those 5 keys, which one do you need to work on? Or which one kind of stands out? Oh, you know what? Maybe we should bake that into our culture a little bit more. Maybe we should acknowledge the technicians and kind of gamify this a little bit. Maybe we just need to make sure we're responding to all of the reviews. Kind of help me out. Post in comments. Out of those 5 keys, in terms of getting control of your reputation and driving more sales, what resonates with you the most? What do you feel like you might need to focus on the most? I'm going to start calling you guys out by name. So Dominic says verifying that the technicians and installers ask, right? We have over 300 reviews and are policing it can be a little bit problematic. Yeah. Carolyn says, as an SEO agency, what's the best way to respond to reviews from my clients? Andrew says, simplifying the approach for our team so they can be comfortable requesting the reviews. Laura says, making sure that we've got some tracking so that we can do that stuff. Awesome. Great. Thank you, guys. I appreciate your comments. Carolyn, I'll circle back with you on your question at another time. Okay, so let's talk about how to make this a reality, right? So first of all, is we want to make sure we leverage the tools, and that a review request goes out after every service call. At a very minimum, invest in one of the platforms, and there's lots, right? There's ReviewBuzz, there's Podium, there's Birdeye, there's Pulsam, there's a lot. Make sure you use them. They're all good. They're all pretty good. So I'm not saying one is greater than the other. Just make sure that you're requesting the review after every service call. It's hitting via email. It's hitting via text message. Commit to have some type of printed card that your technicians have in their bag, and they're asking and they're trained. And you can kind of role play this a little bit. How do you thank the customer? How do you plant the seed that our company thrives off online reviews, right? And a card, because something physical goes a long way. Hey, thanks so much. Would you go ahead and write us a review? Train your technicians to plant the seed. I found about a 20% bump in a couple of our clients' number of reviews that they get month over month just by having in one of their meetings a session. Hey guys, we need you to start requesting reviews after every service call. Will you plant the seed for us, right? And that can go a long way. Also extremely powerful is a call after the service call to walk them through the process. Like one of our clients, Shamrock Plumbing in Orlando, Florida, literally went from 150 reviews to over 1,000. And he points to this as one of the primary mechanisms that he's used, is that everything else, right? Technician goes out, creates a good experience, plants the seed, leaves the review card, email, text message goes out, and then somebody in the office physically calls the customer. And some of you guys call these happy calls. You can call it anything you want to call it, but you just call and say, hey, thanks so much for your business. Wanted to make sure the technician did a good job. Was there any feedback for us? Hey, by the way, I just sent you a text message and an email asking, if you'd be willing to write us a review. Would you be willing to do that? Yes? Oh, great. Well, let me walk you through the process. Well, why don't you go ahead and find the email real quick and click the link. And you'd be amazed. Just prodding the customer, think about your own day-to-day life. your own day-to-day life. You're busy. You've got a lot of things going on. Running a business. Maybe you have kids that you need to get to after school, and all the things going on. And you can have a great experience at a restaurant, with a service technician, maybe at a car dealership, and you can have a great experience. You can have every intention of writing a positive review, right? And you got the emails. It's like, yeah, I'll do that. I'll get to it. But if somebody in the office called you and just said, hey, just wanted to check in, right? And you probably all do this check-in thing anyways. By the way, we just sent you an email requesting review. Did you get it? Oh, yeah, I got it. Oh, hey, would you be willing to write us a review? Absolutely. You mind if I kind of walk you through the process? And now you're like, the pressure of the moment is like, okay, I guess I'm going to have to stop what I'm doing right now and do this, right? And that's where they'll either, you'll jump on your desktop and do it, or you'll just kind of say, okay, I got the text message, bump, okay, done. This is an incremental investment in your office manager, your dispatch person's time that can pay dividends in the number of reviews that you get. Again, build the reviews and recognition into your company culture. I'm going to talk a little bit about logistics on how to do that, how to kind of simplify it quite a bit, and then make sure we're leveraging all of the different modalities of communication in order to maximize the number of reviews that we get. The next thing that I found that had a massive, massive impact on jumping up the number of reviews is to leverage automation. Right, a lot of us are using, I think Sarah just posted in here, a lot of us are using ServiceTitan, right, where we've invested in ServiceTitan. We're booking our jobs through ServiceTitan. We're closing our jobs and collecting our revenue right within ServiceTitan, or we're using House Call Pro. And the fact is, every job is being closed. And in a lot of these tools for a long time, and maybe some of you are still doing this, when you wanted to send a review request, you had to go into another platform and enter a name and an email address and a cell phone number, right? And you had to hit submit. And so for a long time, you had to do that manually at the office, or your technicians had to do it from their cell phone, or if you're using other platforms, maybe you're checking in on NearbyNow and then pressing some buttons in order to review request. And that creates friction. What I found is a percentage, something like 50% of the time, a job would get finished, but no review request would go out, even though the tools were in place, even though the training was there, even though the incentives were there. Now, with automation, there's integrations that now exist for Customer Lobby, for NearbyNow, for ReviewBuzz, for Podium, where you close the job in ServiceTitan. I believe in a lot of cases in House Call Pro as well. You close the job and your system triggers the next step, that email request, that SMS message, that request to go and post an online review. And if you're not doing this, this is a massive, massive opportunity to simplify your life and to massively impact the number of reviews that you get. I just want to show an example of this. One of the companies we work with in Salt Lake City is Valley Plumbing. Lauren Snow and his son Robbie Snow, great people, amazing clients. We love working with them. And they had been using a platform we recommend for a long time called NearbyNow. And there's lots of benefits to NearbyNow where you check in and there's heat map data that's passed to your website, which helps with our local ranking in the surrounding cities. And then the review request goes out and the customer gets hard logged in to Google to write the review. And so they were doing this manually for a long time. And we finally said, okay, let's plug in ServiceTitan automation, where every time you close the job, the review request goes out. And this chart, you want to track this kind of thing so you can track velocity over time. This chart shows they just had like a massive jump in the number of reviews. Like they were averaging 2 to 3 reviews per month. The month we turned this on, no massive increase in the number of service calls, just having it where the review request went out to everyone. It went via email, text message, and hard logged them into Google. This is only on Google. They saw their review count jump from 2 to 3 to over 22 in 1 month. That's over a 10-time increase in the number of reviews just by tapping into the automation aspect of having this review request process happen. So that's the piece on if you do that, you're going to get more reviews. You're going to see velocity in your review count. The next thing is you want to respond to every review. And so in order to do that, you have to have a couple things. You have to have a system in place where every review gets tracked and measured. So every review, regardless of source, like whether it was Google, Angie's List, Yelp, who knows where else, like if you use Thumbtack and things like that, you need to have a tracking mechanism where you can see, okay, these are all of the reviews that have happened. And really a mechanism to say which review came from which tech, right? You need to have that in order to know like what's going on and in order to be able to respond effectively. The second thing is you want to task somebody on your team to respond to all of the reviews, right? The good ones, the bad ones, and everything in between. So whether you task somebody on your team, whether you hire an assistant to do it, whether you hire a company like ours where we can actually just do this for you, you want to make sure somebody's monitoring and responding to the reviews, and you want to make sure that you formulated a strategy for professionally addressing and dealing with the bad reviews. Right? You really have to have thought through when we get that 1 star, and it's going to happen no matter how good you are. The bad ones sneak in, right? They're unhappy with the way you answered the phone, or they're unhappy with the fact that you charge a trip fee, or they're unhappy that whatever happened, it's going to happen. So you want to make sure you've got a strategy to address that. Like who's going to contact the client? How do we address the review? How do we keep it professional so that we can really keep control of our online reputation? And the cool thing is, negative reviews can actually wind up having a positive impact. Like we all want a stellar 5-star reputation. We definitely want a 4.5 plus average online reputation. But the average 1-star review it keeps you authentic. It makes you feel like, okay, they didn't just buy all these reviews. Somebody said something negative. And when you address it in a professional way, it can really change the dynamic, right? It could be a reason somebody chooses you versus the competition. And so just as an example, this is a dashboard that can be put in place where you can see every single review that you've got across the internet, what the average star rating is, what the source is, whether it came from Facebook or ReviewBuzz or NearbyNow or Yelp or Angie's List, and you can start to see exactly what the reviews are and respond to them and address them in a very professional and a very concise manner. So you want to make sure you have something like this in place where it's really easy to see what you've got. And then you want to respond to every review. Like I showed the example of Nixco when we pulled it up. He's got hundreds of reviews and they've all got a professional response. And it's not the same thanks, right? It's a thoughtful response tied back to what they typed in, right? And those responses go a long way, right? So here, John wrote the review. Hey, John, it's great to hear Steve was able to help you out. The Nixco Plumbing team takes pride in providing exceptional service, right? So it's not completely canned. It's matched so it feels authentic. This can't be like an automatic AI response mechanism because that's going to kind of defeat the purpose. So we've kind of mapped out the play, right? How we can bake this into our culture, how we can really drive better reviews. We can leverage the technology. Who would like some help with this? With some portion of it. Maybe it's the tracking, maybe it's the formulating the responses, maybe it's the dealing with the negatives, maybe it's maybe it's just help getting responded, posted on all of the online reviews. All right, so you're still with me, so I'm assuming a lot of you are saying, "Yep, I'm interested. I'd like to have some help with this." And this is something we do for Jeff. So Jeff is on here, so thanks for participating. Awesome. So let me dive in. So I'd like to introduce you to a new platform that we're calling Reputation Response, and really it's a platform that's designed to do everything I talked about here, right? Regardless of tools, right? So you have the tools that you have: Podium, ReviewBuzz, NearbyNow. This is completely tool agnostic, but the big gap that we saw in the marketplace is that you guys are focused on reviews. You're getting reviews, but in a lot of cases, you're not responding. And it's just not time effective to take somebody from your team to look up the reviews every day, every week, and try and respond to them. And so reputation response is intended where we will respond to every review on your behalf. We'll track the reviews, we'll tie them back to the technician, and we'll put a gamification process in place, which is pretty sweet. So here's what we'll do with reputation response. First is we're going to help you to monitor your reviews and reputation across the web. There's lots of tools that do this. Most of them don't get into like Angie's List. They don't get into Yelp. They don't get into some of the hard logged in tools. We've got a platform that looks across the web and finds your reviews from across all of your review sites, so we can aggregate them for you and really help you monitor. Here's how many reviews we have. Here's the good, the bad, the indifferent. We can share them out to your website, to your social profiles. And so value of this is $350 per month, just a tool to properly monitor your online reputation. The other thing we'll do is we'll respond to every review on your behalf every single month. So this is actually somebody on our team looking at the reviews, making sure that they're responded to in a professional and interactive way. And I'd love to hear from you, Jeff. We've been doing this for you for a little bit. Is it nice to have somebody outside your team to post those responses on your behalf so you don't have to think about it? And so we put a $500 value a month on this. If you were to hire a virtual assistant, if you were to take somebody's time out of your office to do it, you have to address every review that's positive, and then you have to make sure that the negative reviews are thought through. And there takes more time. It's kind of a special soft skill to deal with the owner of your company and kind of figure out what the disconnect was, help you figure out how to try and address it offline, but then how to address it online in a really professional way. The other thing we do is we help you gamify your reputation management process and really get the entire team involved. Because we're tracking your reviews across the web and we can identify which technician came with that review, we actually give you a roll-up report that shows you on a monthly basis, and we recommend a contest on a monthly basis where they can see, here's all the techs, here's who got the most reviews, here's the average review rating, and we give you a really cool reputation response board, which you can hang up on the wall. I believe what gets measured gets done, what gets celebrated you get more of, and people love to compete. And so we give you this board. I don't know if you can see it well, but it's a nice size, cool board that you can put up on the office wall and get the whole team involved and have something visual that really gamifies it. It's something that the whole team rallies behind, gets excited about. It's kind of a fun thing to do. And we remove the work from you to do it because we're giving you, here's the total reviews, here's where those reviews came from. So it's just a matter of showing up, writing it up on the board, and celebrating the team's progress. How cool is that? We'd love to hear from you guys. Do you guys think that's pretty cool to have a gamification process baked into your monthly and or weekly calls? Awesome, very cool, sweet. Thank you guys, I appreciate that. So review tracking for each of your techs. So the gamification process and the tech reviews is one time. So the value of this, if you were to kind of add it up, it's about $1,875. We're going to give you a bonus. We're going to send you a copy of the book, Amazing Service, so you can slaughter your competitors. We will actually include additional if you want, so you can give this to your techs. We just got back from a Nextdoor conference, and we got this into the hands of a couple of our Nextdoor clients. And the feedback was like, wow, this is really good. And they wanted more because they wanted their techs to read it, and they wanted to kind of get their techs thinking a little bit more creatively about how they can create that world-class experience. So we're going to send you a copy of this and get some additional copies for your technicians. We're going to give you the board with a lot of cool tip cards. There's some training videos that we've put together on how you can introduce this to your team and get them excited about it, and really the importance of online reputation and the why we're tracking it and why there's going to be a reward mechanism behind it. So if we kind of add all of this stuff up, again, it's a $2,100 value. If you get started with it right now, what we'll do is we'll do the entire process, monitoring the reviews, leveraging the tools you already have. So I'm not asking you to displace any of the tools that you already have. Help you really monitor so it's easy to see which technician got the most reviews so you can reward that and kind of celebrate what you want more of. And then we'll also respond to every review on your behalf. So you can kind of take that off your plate, know that every review is going to get a professional response, and it's just $4.97 per month. And you can go to reputationresponse.com and get registered for this. So what we want to do, again, this is something that we're rolling out. It's a new program. We've already beta tested it with a number of our clients, and it's proven it works really well. But we want to do a special incentive to kind of get this off the ground and to get get a lot of you guys great results with it, so we can get some great testimonials. So instead of $4.97 per month, for the first 10, and we've got a great group of you on with us right now. For the first 10. We'll do just $97 for the first month. So it would just be $97 for the first month. You get the book, you get the gamification process, you get our team responding to every review on your behalf, and then it goes to $4.97 per month after that. So if you could put in there reputationresponse.com/start. Kirsten, put in reputationresponse.com/start. And you go there. You do need to type in a promo code. If you type in the promo code first, when you get to that page, it will drop the first month to $97. That way you can kick this off. How's that sound, everybody? Does that sound pretty good? And I also want you to know this is 100% money back guaranteed. Right? This is one of those things where we want to make sure you see value from it. We want to make sure that this generates a positive return on investment for you, which we know that it will. And we want to make sure that you're happy with the service, like that you're getting great service from our team, the reviews are being responded to, you're able to gamify the process, which is going to move things forward. So if for any reason you're not satisfied with the service, you don't see the value of it, you can keep the game card, you can keep the book. We will have already set up your platform, and we'll refund the money, no questions asked. So completely no risk here. Just go to reputationresponse.com/start. Type in the promo code first, and we'll get you kicked off right away. So let me just kind of show you where this goes. So we go to reputationresponse.com/first, /start. It'll take you to this little page right here that kind of explains, you enter your name, your credit card details, and then in the promo code field, if we type in first, that means you're in the first 10. Again, this is just for the first 10 of us that opt in and get this started. Your first month is just $97. Get 100% satisfaction guaranteed. And really that's it. I hope that you got great value from today's session. Like, I hope, whether you sign up for Reputation or Response or not, I hope you got some cool insights on how you can drive better reviews, how you can get your team involved, how you can kind of gamify the process. Listen, it's not lost on me. These are things you could do on your own. And really, there's a fast way and a slow way to do anything, right? The slow way, you decide, okay, you know what? I get it, Josh. I'm going to use the tools that I already have. I'm going to go out and I'm going to buy some type of platform to monitor this. I'm going to put somebody on my team to respond to the reviews. And you can do that, right? But that absolutely is a slow way to do it, right? The other thing that I'm finding is oftentimes our team has a lot of responsibilities on their plate. Like, they're answering the phones, they're dispatching the guys, they're tracking their conversion rates, they're doing what they do day in and day out. And it feels like, oh man, I'll just put this on them. I'll have them do this. And they'll probably do it for a couple weeks, but then they get busy, right? How many of you guys can relate? They get busy, other things come up, they get sidetracked, and before you know it, they're not doing it anymore. The beauty of having a service like ours handle this for you is that it's completely off the plate of your team. It's mission critical, but it's not taking somebody out of their day-to-day rhythm to log into a site and to write reviews. Let's face it, we're going to be doing this for several hundred plumbing and HVAC companies, so we can tap into economies of scale and we can get this done for you quickly, efficiently, and kind of knock it out on a consistent basis. So the fast way would be, let us take what we've already built, we've already engineered, take our team that's already standing by to respond to these reviews on your behalf, and just take it off your plate. So that's it. Go to reputationresponse.com/start, enter the promo code FIRST. We look forward to handling this for you. If not, again, thank you so much for joining us on today's session. I really, truly do hope that you got great value. If there's any questions here about tools, questions about reputation strategies, questions, I'm here to answer them. So feel free to post them in the comments, and we can take it from there. Albert says, thank you, Albert. We really appreciate your business. Let's see. Laura says, techs are going to love this. Andrew had to run to another meeting. Let's see. Okay. Well, I think that takes us full circle. Again, thank you for your time. Thank you for the opportunity. Let's go out. Let's be the world-class providers, right? Let's have our reputation stand for itself. And we'll see you again on a future session here of the Plumbing and HVAC Online Dominance series. So let me see. Anybody else? Thank you all for coming. Thanks for hanging out. If you have questions about this, let me know, and we'll take it from there.